we not only get the backstory of Elektra, but we find out that that trunk that's in her closet has a story of its own. Let's talk about Pose. Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to KRSTV. This is your boy Kenny. Now remember, subscribe to my channel and click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also follow all the information I have in the description box as well as the comment section. Also like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. Now before I get started with this review, let me send a shout out to Metro Health DC. If you are in the DMV area and you're looking for quality health care, reach out to Metro Health DC today. The number is in the description box in the comment section, and there's also a form that you can fill out and someone from the outreach team will be in touch with you. Also, let me send a shout out to GMHC, Gay Men's Health Collaborative. If you are in the DMV area and would like to get tested for HIV, reach out to us at the GMHC crew for a home testing kit. You can have the kit mailed to you, or you can call and make a same-day appointment and come to our location to pick one up. Also, if you're interested in getting set up with PrEP, which is HIV prevention medication, reach out to the GMHC crew for that as well. Also, if you're a fan of your boy here at KRSTV and would like to become one of my Black Diamonds, subscribe to my Patreon today. Black Diamonds, because in darkness, we still shine. For $5 a month, you get all of my YouTube content, as well as videos that'll be specific for the Black Diamonds, and some of those videos I will share on YouTube just to give people an idea what the Black Diamonds are all about. Also, let me send a shout out to my YouTube partner, BK WorldTube, which is the Black Netflix. You get shows like The Haves and the Have-Nots, as well as The Oval. So after you watch this review, click that link in my description box and comment section to check out BK WorldTube. Now, this is Pose, Season 3, Episode 3, and the name of this episode is The Trunk. I must say, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode, and I love how they're giving us a backstory to the characters. And I must say, this episode gave me so much life. So the episode begins in 1978. This is 16 years before 1994. And we see that Miss Elektra is working the piers, getting the Johns and everything. And they got, a native New Yorker playing in the background. Love that song. And she's pretty much working the stroll. She's there with one of her girlfriends who she works with. And you can just tell there was something different about Elektra, that she was ambitious, that the confidence that we see now with Elektra, she had back then when she was sneaking around, turning tricks down at the piers. But we see that she meets this John, and she literally reads him for filth, that that he that he's a manager, that you don't look like you're a CEO or a boss, so clearly you don't have the kind of money for Miss Elektra. And he's like, I'm a manager at Radio Shack. She's like, yeah, and I bet you had to sell a whole bunch of tape recorders just to come out here. And they was going back and forth. He's like, look, because he's like, are you looking to suck and fuck? And he pretty much says, look, I got $75 in a six-pack. She was like, okay, fine, but you're going to take me to get a hot apple pie at Mickey D's, after all this shit is over. I was like, she was a boss even then. And then afterwards, we see her and her girlfriend walking, and Miss Elektra had a lot of damn money. So Miss Elektra was always going to get that coin. And she pretty much said that, look, I want more than just what these little tricks are trying to give me. I have ambition, I have goals, I have dreams, and I'm gonna bring them to life. And then all of a sudden she was like, her girlfriend said, oh shit, I forgot my keys. I ain't gonna be able to get to my apartment. And she was like, why would you do that, you dumb bitch? You know I cannot go back into my mother's house with all this on. And then like her friend was like, well girl, it's only like about 5 a.m. She ain't even gonna be up. She's like, you don't know Miss Tasha Jackson. And sure enough, she walks into that house. Her and her mother sees her, and she's like, what is that you got on? She says, it's from Halston. And she's like, come here. And when she got in front of her mother and she saw that she was wearing a dress, her mother laid in on her. And we can definitely tell her mother is very abusive, because she wanted a boy, but yet she has a trans woman, and she can't accept that, And when she was saying that, you out here, acting like a homosexual, wearing dresses and all of that, she says that I'm not a homosexual and I'm a woman. That's who I am. And she told her to take her dress off, and she said no, so she literally rips the dress off of her. And of course Elektra's crying because this is the one woman that you look up to, your mother, and your mother is giving you so much hurt and pain. And we see that she got a lot in hurt and pain from her actual mother. So she pretty much stood up to her mother. It's like, you know what? I'm done with this shit. I am going to live my life. I'm going to be who I am. And I'm not going to take this abuse from you any longer. And then when she goes to her room, we see the trunk. The same trunk that the guy that died at the Hellfire is in. We see that she's had that trunk throughout her life. And she goes in the trunk and she has all of these valuables in there. Fur, diamonds and jewels and all of that. Her mother pretty much said, that stays here. She says, these are my things. She's like, it's in my house, so it's mine. And the funny thing about it, I kind of went through that situation with a family member where this family member uses their home as a means to bully you. And I've been through that shit. So when I saw that scene, that definitely tugged at my heartstrings because I've been through that shit. And pretty much she told her, you just get the hell out of my house. You ain't taking nothing out of here. And literally drags Elektra and throws her out in the front. But Elektra, was crying. She got up and dried her tears and was like, this is who I am. Goodbye, mother dear. And walked off. And I was like, that's what's up. So Elektra always had that boss bitch in her. And it was cool to see how she was back in 78 when she didn't have anything. So then it fast forwards to 1994. Elektra is being watched by the feds. Mayor Giuliani is on the prowl right now, going after all of the, smut spots, as they like to call them. Because Elektra is now running her own sex line business. And while she goes and checks her messages, she gets this message from Lulu saying that, yeah, I'm cool, and I was fine until Angel decided to ditch my ass for Drugs Anonymous and shit. But I'm fine. Just wanted to let you know I'm okay, and you and Blanca don't come looking for me. So Lulu was literally out there in them streets, doing God knows what, because we saw that she got addicted to crack, and we saw what crack did, to the community, and the type of things people did for crack. So all of a sudden, she gets a knock on the door, and it's the feds, and they want to bring her in for questioning, and she was trying to handle it like a boss, but they pretty much was like, no, you need to come down to the station and we need to ask you a few questions or whatever. And when she gets down to the station, they start grilling her about stuff and everything. And she says that, Mayor Giuliani is trying to clean up the community. And, he's against the Italian mob. And he's definitely against smuts, smut locations, whorehouses, arcades, all of that shit. We're shutting it all down. So pretty much Elektra was like, well, if you're going to question me, then I'm not going to speak until I get my lawyer. And then she was like, okay, fine, you can do that. And while you wait on your lawyer, we will get a warrant and we will literally go and not only raid your business, but we will also raid your apartment. Immediately that shit started ticking because she remembered she got that dead body in her closet. So she was like, okay, fine. I just need to make one phone call. She calls Blanca and tells Blanca what's up and said that, look, y'all need to, get over there and, get my jewels and get my stuff. Meaning she's kind of low-key like, get rid of that damn trunk because they could be over there looking for me and shit. So then after she makes her call, they put her in the damn jail cell. And she says, I was actually there helping the detectives. They're like, well, the detectives are gone, so you got to go in this cell until they get back. And she's like, and then they put her in the cell with this guy. And she's like, but I'm a woman. And he was like, prove it. So it just goes to show you the ignorance and the pure disrespect that trans women were getting at that time and that they're still getting now. They are actually women. And Elektra had her corrective surgery, so she is a full-fledged woman. And then you kind of see like the dude gawking at her and shit. So here it is, she's like stuck in this situation. So pretty much we see that Blanca goes over to get the trunk. She takes Poppy with her. Ricky is now staying with Miss Elektra, and I kind of figured that's where Ricky was going to go. So Ricky is staying with Elektra, and they go up in there, and they kind of go back and forth, and Blanca said, oh, you're telling Ricky, because, Ricky was kind of, was talking to shit. She's like, oh, do you want me to go tell, pray tell when he gets out of rehab, how you was literally going to all the bars on Christopher Street, looking for dick? Like, I was cracking up at that. I was like, Miss Blanca knows everything, honey. So they go into the room where she has the trunk. You see all the air fresheners hanging from the ceiling. They can definitely smell it. And they go to try to lift it or whatever because, they both, macho men and talking about how they've been lifting weights and that they got them guns and this ain't nothing and they could barely lift that shit. And in that situation, Blanca tells them what happened about how Elektra had this John who OD'd on her, and she put him in that trunk because if she was afraid of telling the police that they would convict her of murder, and that, she did it for her own protection because, the trans community is not protected by the police, which is true. And they both agreed. So pretty much they end up getting the trunk. They put it in Damon's room. They're still gawking at it because it stinks, because this body has been in there since, I think 1990. So that body has literally been mummified and decaying for the last 4 years. So you can only imagine the odor that's coming from that trunk. But they put it in Damon's room, and then it makes Blanca think back. She says that trunk has been with Elektra for so long, and the thing is, if it wasn't for that trunk, she pretty much gave up everything in that trunk for us, meaning her house, the house of abundance. So they go back to 1983. We get to see Miss Candy. I was so happy to see Miss Candy. I was so happy to see Candy and Lulu back in the day when they were younger. They were just the same messy, shit-talking bitches that they were, back in 87 and 1990. They were that way back then. And they was always talking shit to Blanca. But we see that Blanca has a very special relationship to Elektra, and that Elektra, Blanca is Elektra's heart. And even when Elektra was treating her bad, she always had a soft spot for Blanca. So they pretty much are like really struggling because they don't have no food in the house. And the Chinese food that she brought in the other day went bad. So they literally have nothing to eat. There's no money. So, and then of course, that damn Candy talking her shit like, well, bitch, you the fucking mother, then it's your responsibility to make sure that the children eat. And Miss Elektra got up, was like, yeah, you're right. It is my responsibility. So she went out to work the piers because Blanca said, I will go out and work the piers for your mother if you want me to. But she was like, no, I'm going to do it. I got to, I'm going to do what I got to do to feed the family. But while she's out on the piers, we see she actually meets, we see this boy gets out of this limo, or kind of like this fancy car or whatever. Immediately, that rung with Elektra, like, what's this going on? And we see she finally meets Angel, Lamar, and Cubby. And that was everything, because we even see that even as a boy, Angel is gorgeous. And we see Lamar and Cubby there, that the three of them pretty much started out with each other. They pretty much are teenagers. They live pillar to post, and they rob and steal. And then Angel says she only tricks when she really needs to. So pretty much Elektra gives them the address and tells them, go to this address. You'll meet Blanca. She has that shake and go church wig on, but she has a good heart, and she'll let you guys in. And pretty much they ask, who are you? She says, first of all, I am your mother, and the name is Elektra. And she goes to handle her trick, because the trick was even asking that she can bring one of her friends with her, and Elektra stopped her, like, no, because at the end of the day, she sees herself as being a protector of the children. So I thought that was everything. So then we see that later on, she decides she's going to pull a heist to get back her trunk. So we see that she got all of them together. The mother put an air conditioning unit inside of her old room. And she's like, man, that bitch decided to get air conditioning after I leave. What kind of bullshit is that? Oh my God. I just love me some Elektra. But they were able to get their unit out of there. The mother was in the room asleep. They literally snuck in there, got the trunk, and while Blanca and Elektra were sneaking the trunk out from downstairs, that's when her mother woke up. And then her mother started in with her shit and was talking about something. I'm gonna call the police, and what the hell you doing here? Oh, that Miss Elektra says, okay, fine, call the police. I want you to. So all the neighbors can see, and I will scream and let everybody know that you're my mother, and I will bring all this attention to you that you don't want. And then the mother was like, well, fine, take it. But then they started to have somewhat of a heart-to-heart moment, Elektra and her mother. And we also found out that Elektra's boy name was Dwayne. So he was born Dwayne, but became Elektra. And Elektra is who she truly is. So we see that her and her mother go back and forth, and the mother pretty much says that I prayed for a boy. That's what I wanted. Someone who will protect me, someone who will have my back, and you took that from me. Elektra was like, I could have still been that. As a matter of fact, I still am that. I'm still somebody who will protect you, who will have your back. And she says that the neighbors that are moving in this community, they don't know me, and I'm here by myself. And then she goes in with the bullshit like, well, if only you would just tone it down a bit. Oh, Mr. Elektra was not having it. She was like, I'm not toning down anything. I inspire children. I inspire many. Who am I to turn down who I am to appease you because of your fear? She was like, I'm not toning down who I am, and this will be the last, because I can't live like this. I cannot fit into your fantasy, and you refuse to see me. So since you can't see me, this will be the last time you see me. Goodbye, Tasha. And her and Blanca took that trunk up out of there, and that was the end of that. And then we see later on, she used all of those jewels and gems and everything that was in that trunk. She pretty much pawned it and ended up getting them the House of Abundance. And that was the house that we saw on the very first episode of Pose, when the House of Abundance. So we see the House of Abundance finally moved in, and Blanca goes to Elektra's room, her new bedroom, nicely furnished room at that, and she opens up the trunk, and everything is gone except for the picture of her as little Dwayne with her mother. that was the only thing that was left in that trunk. So Blanca knew what she did for them, and that's why she always had a loyalty to Elektra. Even when Elektra was on her bullshit, she still had a loyalty to her mother, because she knew what Elektra did so that they can have a better life. So then we see later on, Elektra's still in jail. Christopher finally comes over. Christopher's a doctor, so Christopher has probably been to the morgue multiple times. So immediately he picks up the smell and all of that, and Blanca's trying to throw him off, and he gets mad at Blanca. He's like, you know what? I don't get you. 1 minute it's like, I've known you all my life, and then the next minute you acting like you a damn complete stranger. Like, what the hell is going on? You need to let me know. And he's like, look, baby, I want to be here for you, but you got to tell me what's up. What's going on? And she was reluctant, but then she finally reveals what happened with that whole situation with Elektra. And he's like, well, why didn't you go to police? Like, are you serious? See, this is why I didn't want to tell your ass, because the police don't give a damn about us. They don't see us as human beings. They would have, if she would have came forward and said that, what happened, they would have locked her up for the rest of her life. They would have pinned the murder on her, because they don't see us as people. The police don't protect us. And then he said that, yeah, even my mother, even my parents had told me to be cautious when it comes to the police. I'm like, yeah, just because you got money and, you still black, and this is all they see. They don't care about your status or what you got. So that was real. So he's like, I get it. And they came together, and he was in, like, we see that Ricky and Poppy are there too, and he pretty much says that we got to figure out what we're going to do about this trunk. And then we see later on in the episode, they actually, go to, like, I think it was kind of like the reservoir, or like the, pretty much like the sewer, and that's where they dump the bodies, so therefore it will decay and everything. And we even see that Ricky threw up because when they took it out at the back of the car, the damn truck came open and the whole damn body came out. He immediately got sick, and I'm like, yeah, that had to be gross. So they pretty much got it all together, they chained it, and they threw it over, and I was like, there we go. But they did that after they got Blanca out of jail. So while Christopher is there at the house with Blanca and Ricky and Poppy, they finally get a call, and they're finally posting bail for her. And then we see later on, Christopher pretty much knows a district attorney. He made the connection, and all the charges against her were dropped, so she still can keep her business, and everything is fine, because they're running a sting operation for all of these, places that cater to the sex industry. And it just goes to show you that Mayor Giuliani was an ignorant son of a bitch who didn't have no respect for the community and had no understanding of the HIV and AIDS crisis, because there were a lot of people who got HIV and AIDS and did not partake in that environment. So you're just pretty much just decriminalizing, the sex industry because you think that HIV was only contracted from sex, which is a load of bullshit. So then we also, so pretty much, Elektra gets upset when she finds out what Chris did, because she's like, why the hell you telling your man all my business? Why are you putting them all in the middle of this shit? And Blanca said that, first of all, he's not just some man, he's my man, and he's with us. Like, come on, we got you. She says that I did what I had to do because I know how much you sacrificed for us. So what makes you think I'm just going to sit back and just allow you to get tramped up like that? We family, and we all come together, and we all do what we got to do when it comes down to family. Because that damn Elektra, like Poppy and everybody be like, yeah, Elektra be doing the most. But at the end of the day, she's still mother. And finally, Blanca actually tells her that she got into nursing school. So that was like a celebration, because she says, like, why didn't you tell me? She's like, you was in jail, Mom. I wanted to wait till you got out before I told you shit. Like, so I thought that was cool. And they kind of celebrate that. And then she says, and she pretty much tells Blanca, you know why I called our house the House of Abundance? Because with all of you, I have everything. So we even see that even though she mean as shit, she does treasure those kids, and they all are a part of her. So this was great to see Elektra finally bloom, and we really see the tender side of Elektra. And I really am loving how her and Blanca's relationship is becoming more and more revealed of how close they are. I mean, in all honesty, Blanca was her favorite, and rightfully so, because Blanca's the heart. And then I got my life when they went back to 1984, and this is after the House of Abundance have established themselves in their new home, and they walked the ball for the first time. Now, Miss Elektra is already legendary. She be snagging trophies left and right, but now she has her own house. And here it is. I think it was called what was the name of that house? But it was supposed to be the category is Once Upon a Time. I forgot the name of the house. If y'all remember that name of that house, put it down in the comments. But he was roasting the shit out of them. I mean, they looked like a bargain sale. They looked cheap as hell. Like, Pray Tell was going in on their asses, and we saw Pray Tell had that drink. He always had that drink when he was up there. So afterwards, he gets word that, that there's a challenge, and it's for the same theme, and it's Once Upon a Time. And here it is. First comes up is Lulu as Rapunzel. She was working the long hair, and I think it was Cubby who was acting as, the prince trying to pull onto her hair. That was cute. Then we had Little Red Riding Hood, and it was Angel. And this was the first time Angel walked in the ball. So we already saw right then and there was promise in Miss Angel, because Miss Angel is now a fashion model, darling. But she did Little Red Riding Hood, and Lamar played the wolf. And that was cute. Then we had Miss Candy, doing her thing as Sleeping Beauty, had the mattress on the back of her and had the hair laid back. It was gorgeous. She did her thing. And then we had Miss Blanca as Snow White with the apple, and she served that. And then Mother Elektra came out as Maleficent, the evil queen bitch, and they got 10s across the board. And that was the first time that they walked as a house, and they were stellar. Like, as a unit, they were everything. We saw that in the very first episode when they walked that royalty category and they robbed that museum. They came up in there with all the fineries and killed it. And we see that they had that momentum back in 84 when they walked their first ball. So, because I think first season was in 87. So it was like 3 years. 3 years prior, they were already killing it from the first go. And then we see that Elektra really, sits there, and she sees Blanca with her man, and she sees Poppy and Ricky. They all know the situation, and now Elektra has peace. But yet there's still a part of her that's still sad, because she wished she had that connection with her biological mother. But at the end of the day, if they don't see you and they don't accept you, leave them where they at, honey. But that's what I got, y'all. It really ended on a good number, because they pretty much toasted Blanca, because Blanca got in nursing school. So that was great. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, get down in those comments and let me know your thoughts. I truly enjoyed this episode, and I cannot wait for the next episode of Pose. So until next time, everybody, take care.